Alright everybody, I'm going live right now. First live I've done in a while. I just want to do this just to document a little bit of my journey and just talk about like what I know here in the charts so far. Just to grow, you know what I mean? So basically I just trade NASDAQ and ES based on like ICT concepts and whatnot. So, yeah, just want to document it and just go over some charts. And, like, what I see. Not, like, doing live streams just to, like, fully grow or anything. I'm just doing this to document my journey and just talk through, like, my process. Because I know I used to do it, like, a lot more on, like, Discord and stuff, but kind of got distracting. So, I always record myself anyway when I'm trading. So, like, this is just making it public instead of just private. So I'm just going to do the same thing I do as I do privately. I'm going to do it publicly now. So, yeah, that's just my idea here. But yeah. All right. We'll see how this first stream goes. I don't expect really anybody to get on, and if they do, cool. Let me know if you like it. All right. So what did we get here this morning? Going over the charts here. So through London session, well, Asia and yesterday's PM session, we consolidated. Then we traded down through London, took out the sell side, and then in London and pre-New York, we took out the buy side. That's above here. So this is kind of a sell side, then buy side, and now we're just in this range. Like, where does it really want to go? You know, and that's why we gotta go to the higher time frame for the daily narrative of this price. And we gotta realize on the daily narrative, we're very bullish. Okay, looking for shorts in anything like this is kind of hard unless it's like a lower time frame scalp. But looking for a huge expansion down can be kind of nerve-wracking, I guess you could say, but obviously not the highest probability. Looking at the 30-minute as well, just coming down, taking out sell side. We took out buy side, then sell side, but we're overall bullish. We're very, very bullish. And RSI, I don't use this as much, but this is the only indicator I really use. But higher lows, that could mean more bullishness coming in, so that's just another higher narrative. And then if we go side by side with ES, you can see that we're just consolidating here on ES, where we're consolidating here, but we took out the sell side, but we did not take out the sell side in ES yet. So I want to watch how this 1 hour gap here reacts on ES and how this 1 hour wick now starts to play out here on NQ. So what do we get in this area? I was initially looking for the buy when we came down, and then we shifted our market structure here when we hit the low. So if we actually look at all that from this lower time frame, we shifted up, we came back down, and when we came back down here, notice when we came back down, we actually came up and closed up above this 1 minute inversion candle. And that's an indication to me that we are going to go attack buy side, which is up within this range. That's if it really wants to keep ripping on through. But since we already took out buy side up here, and then at market open we took out buy side here, it's less probability that we're going to completely reach up there. But if you go for a 2020, that's a 1-to-1. So that's a pretty nice risk reward. I'm still expecting it to rip up, but we're getting some consolidation within here. And do we have? I believe we have news today. Yeah, we got some orange folder news today at 10. So I want to pay attention to that, which is right here. News at 10 o'clock. So we got like 12 minutes left before that news comes out. But if we're bullish, I'm expecting that little bit of news just to send us to that buy side. But since we're consolidating, this is a low profile right here. Anyways, looking at this, notice how we made a lower low here on YM as we made a higher low after closing that inversion. So that's a pretty good indication to me that we are going to go for that buy side. And look how we hit this internal buy side here with this candle. And then we hit this area, we just consolidated it, then eventually came back up. But still, like I was saying, I'm expecting it to still run up to the higher time frame here. But with that news, I want to be careful. I want to wait for something A plus. Any more, like right now, I would not want to enter this trade. Right here is a good setup, but it just happened like really, really fast after market open. So that's not something I want to fully be in. Really just paying attention here with all this price action. This is going to the 5-minute time frame. We took out sell side, and then usually you go external liquidity to internal liquidity. So we have external here, and now we have internal here. So that's another bias there. So like we had external here, we hit internal here. Okay, so we hit the external, which was above here. And now the internal is here and here. It could reach here. There's relative equal lows, but we have the SMT with NQ, so we don't need to do that. Also try not to make it too complicated. But notice that 2-minute closure now up above this volume imbalance that we have on the daily. So which would be... Actually, it might not be the daily, my bad. It's a 4-hour volume balance. But notice that 2-minute closure. I expect this 2-minute closure to hold price action and send us up to this 830 high. 930 high. My bad. 930 high right there. We should hold up above that and just ride our price right into there. So be watching as this happens. Notice this on the SMT and the wicks. This is something I really like to see in price action if we are targeting a potential area for price to go to. This is really my trading model, which is like liquidity that hits a PD array, and then we got to get in sync with order flow. That's really all it is. And getting in sync with order flow can be kind of confusing, but I have a lot of steps to it. I either use an inversion for value gap, but I really need SMT, which we did have SMT at the lows down here with YM like I was showing earlier. But we also have SMT where we made a higher low here, but look at the lower low we made here. So that's a continuation towards our internal liquidity and our 930 that's right here. So I want to monitor now this time frame. Do we continue up on through here? 2-minute, another closure, 3-minute. Look how sexy that 3-minute looks. Right up above that midnight level too, which is this yellow line. So I would expect this still to continue up on through from here based on this 30-second order block. I'd want to see this. I'd want to see price just hold here and then continue up on through. Watching this order block here. It's very choppy and we're right before news. And it's after we took out buy side and sell side. So now we're in the middle of the range. I would expect this internal to be hit. But you got to realize we're in the middle of this range. Price can still come down into here and chop around, and then we could get something later. Like if news just sent us straight down, I want to look for something like that. Personally. That's just me personally. But I prefer something like that, to be honest. But I do want to record this, my charts here, just for my notes. Get the sell side here. And we got our SMT. We got that SMT with YM earlier too. Just screenshot that. That goes in the notebook. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right off that 30-second order block that we were talking about. Right here. Notice how it never closed down below 50% of it. Right there. That was beautiful. Beautiful little trade setup. Just look at how choppy this ES is, though. That's kind of garbage, in my opinion. Regular trading hours here. When we played that 30-second, we're also at 50% of this opening range. Because we closed here yesterday, and we opened here today. So we're actually at 50% of that. I'm seeing it now. And we just came right up to the 930. Actually, we haven't even hit it yet. So I'm expecting this to still just rip it. News in 4 minutes. Even if we pull back here, we might hit it. We're probably going to hit it before the news. 4 minutes is a little while, but I expect that just to be smoked, you know? But also, look, we got all these relative equal highs here from yesterday's price. But obviously, the London hours took it out, but the opening range hours haven't. But overall, higher time frame, bullish as fuck. So I'm expecting prices to keep continuing higher. We closed up above this 5-minute inverse. So we pay attention to the 5-minute inverse. I believe we could long from here as well. So we'll keep paying attention to this 5-minute inverse right here. 5M inversion. Okay. ES, just looking like dog shit, dude. Fuck that. But I also don't want to get married to one side because the news can just flip anything up. So I want to stay open to either direction. The 4 hours coming into this range here. It's 4 hours at close, pretty indecisive. Even though we did take out the low, I would still say bullish. It'd be nice if we took out this low first here on YM before moving up. I do like that we're in the daily, basically volume imbalance. I want to mark up this volume imbalance here on the daily too on ES. Like, where do we fall on that? Okay, we're bouncing right off that daily volume imbalance on ES. I strictly trade NQ for the most, well, not strictly, but most of the time I trade NQ. But, yeah. But after that 2-minute close, we retested here. We already had all of our confirmations. Then that 1 minute, we shifted up. Then that 2-minute close and retested it down to go higher. That was pretty nice. But now we gotta wait. What do we get here? You know, we didn't hit the high of the 930 yet. Okay, we gotta pay attention to that. I'm gonna mark up our opening range here too on ES. Get our news here very soon, in about a minute. So we're at the opening range high here on ES, so we're still rejecting it. This garbage looking price action. Like, if you think this looks good, you're silly, dude. So, it's 50-50 for me right now, to be honest. I do like the buys, obviously better because they're in the higher time frame, going bullish. But, like I said, took out the high, took out the low. Now we're in this range. Even if we take out this high, we might still pull back down and in. Like, it's kind of hard. Like, literally the last... I mean, there was a good trade on Wednesday last week. But Thursday, Friday were kind of shit. Like, there wasn't really a setup. So I didn't trade those. And then yesterday was kind of shitty. Based on, like, similar situation. Had 2 stop losses on one account and then a win on another. And the win was right here. I took this buy from here up to here. But I was trying to buy it within this low based on the SMT in the rejection block. Even though we took out the high. Very, very similar to this. Took out the low, took out the high, and now we're traded back in. And then we continued lower. But like, I was looking for a continuation. So they're very similar here. We took out the high, taking out the low. But I'm looking for continuation like I was over here, looking for continuation. But we're in a deeper discount now. We have a 1, 2, 3 divergence move that I like to look for. So, yeah. Okay, look at this. We took out the swing low. On the 30 second now. Let's go down to the 15 second. There's no inversion. So, we inversed this 15 second. Came up, broke structure, hit this fair value gap here. As we had a volume imbalance here on ES. So, I would expect this to be another internal liquidity sweep. To come up to this high, but obviously a little bit higher. I'm not taking this. Like, I don't trade these lower time frames like this. Only way I'll go on like a 15 second is like if I'm at like a really deep discount and we have like an order block set up. And I'm trying to find an example. I don't see any. This could be one. Only time we'll trade like a 15 second is if we like break up above and we have a fair value gap and we have SMT within that fair value gap. So something like this. Here's a fair value gap here. I'll trade that. I took one of these last week and it was one of my best plays I had. And because I went for like a 5 hour or something like that. But I was very confident in the setup. I got in too early on the 2 minute. And then I had a stop loss, but it was like half my stop loss because I knew like the trade was failing, so I cut risk when it pulled back in. So, and then the next trade I took the same amount of risk and then took profit along the way, which is nice. In the beginning I said I'm just doing these streams because I record myself anyway. So I'm always like recording, I'm like watching my trading. So I don't need to do these streams, but I'm already recording myself, so I just make them public. Just to get my information out there and like maybe help somebody. As long as it helps somebody like stay out of the market or whatever, then so be it. Very, very nice. Notice how we have like more low probability conditions here. We break up above this 5-minute inverse that we have, and then we come right back down below it. And now, it's key to keep watching these 5-minute candles, because notice how we also didn't close down below it either. We just came back into the discount. Okay. This is very key to keep watching this. And if we measure this opening range here, if it loads. If we measure this opening range, you can notice that we're still respecting like the 75% of this quadrant. If we pay attention in here, maybe we could get a setup, because we traded into this discount and we're looking for price to continue back up towards these highs. So this 30-second right here could act as an inverse to continue long. But like I said, nothing's really high probability right now. I want to stay out of it. Stick to the 5-minute. Because we could just keep trading back down lower. Go over here to ES. We got SMT. Overall trading down. Got the higher wicks here. So we tapped up. Volume balance. Traded into the volume balance. And we're rejecting it. So the first 15 minutes traded up and back down. So not really trying to predict anything in here. I want to wait to see like what the market's trying to tell me. Because right now it's just sideways. There's not much going on. Buy side taken, especially here on NQ, and then sell side taken. Now we're just in the middle of this range. Like, it has to pick a direction. And initially, that 1 minute had a setup to go long here, but it didn't energetically want to leave. It wanted to chop around and then slowly gravitate up into this area. Still watching this side by side. Relative equal highs here. We had a relative equal lows. We took out the relative equal lows. We hit this rejection block. And now we're trading up. So the question is, do we get a 30-second inverse above this 30-second fair value gap? And does that continue us up higher? That's the real question. We got 10 seconds left on this candle for it to determine that or not. Because we do have relative equal highs here. It's just hard for me to want to take a buy. I'd really need to see it like break up above here with energy for me to want to take a buy. It's still 50-50 for me. And notice how the 30-second did not close that. It came in, but closed here. Not even halfway. And then it opened up about halfway. Not even quite halfway. But now it's just trading back down. So it's 50-50 kind of conditions right now. So these conditions I like just to watch. Whatever happens, happens here. So if we pay attention to order flow, we traded down, took out the low, we shifted up. And after we shifted up, created another bullish candle on the 2-minute, traded back down using these order blocks here to shift price up higher into this fair value gap, reaching near our 930 open, which is right here that we have yet to hit. It came close, but it hasn't hit it yet. It doesn't need to hit it. It does not need to. Got to keep that in mind. We're also looking at how ES came up and we have hit it. which is the high of this purple box I have here. We go all three, the big three here. Consolidation. Just consolidation. This is not something I really want to risk my account on. I'd rather save the money in the account and just observe what price is doing. Like what PD arrays are being respected. It's obviously respecting this order block. This order block is very, very strong. My opinion. Tapped it, tap it. Still, it's closing. We haven't had one close into this order block. But I want to see if this wants to continue, like I was saying earlier. So for now, looking at this lower time frame, look at that rejection here. We also have our SMT. Close up above this 30-second inversion, so I'm expecting this just to send higher. So notice how we have a higher low here, right here. So I'm watching this 30-second. So this 30-second close right there, and I'm expecting this just to rally up towards these highs. Short-term high. Boom, just like that. Simple. We close up above this 30-second now as well, as we were talking about earlier. So that's a little scalp right there in its own. We didn't want to see the swing low broken if that was to continue. So this would be our break even, and then we would be taking price to this high, obviously higher, you know, until PD arrays don't respect anymore. We got the 830 open right here, so 830 open, and then possibly this fair value gap that's right there. I'm just tape reading, so I'm not even in this, but I would expect this to play out here. But you got to keep in mind, expectation means that you're wanting something to happen. So if that does not happen, then you'll have like emotional problems, I guess you could say. And you don't want to expect anything to happen besides losing. So entering a trade, you want to expect to lose, but of an intention to win. So you're not necessarily surprised if you lose, if that makes any sense. So like, if I took this buy, I don't want to, even though I did expect it to reach up here, only thing I can expect is to lose. And that's entering your C game, if that makes any sense. So going through Jared's book and everything, you kind of go through a lot of your situations, like mentally. And I can bring it over real quick. This is my A to C game analysis. And the only thing you can expect, and you can't get worse at, is your C game. So you're not knowing order flow, you're entering late, or you're not entering at all. You're closing trades too early, you're not observant. Basically you have tunnel vision, you're not accepting the risk, you're fearful. But like when you're in your A game, you're focused with your audio. If you hear my audio in the background, that's helped me stay focused. I'm energized because I worked out. I got up early. I went to the gym, got my coffee. I don't have the tunnel vision. I have a stable confidence, and I'm not worried about the monetary value of a win or a loss if I take a trade. So understanding order flow, like what kind of market are we in. So this, you cannot expect the A game every time. You can only expect the C game, just like a loss. I only expect a loss, but of an intention to win. So the mental game has definitely helped out big time. And look at this. This might be a market where it's like we close. Yes, you could have locked in almost like about a 1-to-1 on this trade here. Okay, you risk 400, you make 400. Okay. So now this could have went a lot farther, but the rest would be break even if you had a few positions on. If you risked 800, you lock in 400, the rest would be break even. But this is not the kind of market I want to be in, so that's why I didn't take the trade, even though it was very, very probable after that inversion closure here that we were going to rip up there. So if you look at it that way. And the whole time we were framing that buy based on the 2 minute of these order blocks, SMT that we had. But we framed that buy in all of this garbage consolidation. It's still there. There's still opportunities, but is it worth my mental capital? Hell no. I'd rather just sit back and wait for an A+ setup. Something like what happened yesterday. We had SMT at the lows, then we closed up above using this inversion, this fair value gap tap, and then a continuation up towards this high and this high, then up towards this order block. So I'd rather wait for something like that, but watching this now, we just keep rejecting this. We're probably going to keep going short from this order block. If we go to the 5 minute side by side, making a higher high here. It's 50-50 in my book. It's 50-50, guys. So I'm trading 2 eval accounts. The one that I'm really focused on, I haven't taken a trade on yet today, but the other one, I took the buy on the 1 minute inversion here based on the SMT. And then break even. So that one was just alright. I don't really worry about that account too much. On the eval, the one that I'm halfway to getting funded on, little over halfway, I haven't taken anything. There's nothing high probability to me. So like if it's high probability, it needs to happen slower. So if it happens too fast, I've come to realize I'm acting out of emotion if it happens too fast. Like let's say the candle closes right now, like this short candle right now closes. It's like, oh my god, this thing's going short, but I haven't planned it out beforehand. So, like, it's easy just to reverse. And I'm not trying to take something like that. And I have to have joy of missing out. Like, if I miss out on the trade, like, let's say it goes short now and I'm not in it. I gotta be okay with that. Because, look, we now had a higher high made here and a lower high made here. We're in the order block. And we had a lot of relative equal lows down here. Especially on ES. This could just start ripping right down. And notice how that buy did not play out earlier that we were talking about. It didn't play out. So, glad I was not in that. So, if I'm going to go short at some point, I need to see more price action within here, obviously. Bearish order flow, SMT, and all that fun stuff. But I'd also want to see this 3 minute get inversed. And that's a 3 minute candle closing down below this. And then send it down towards this low. Well, we got to pay attention that this was just taken. But even then, I wouldn't want to take that short. I'd rather just wait for this discount to be traded to and see if there's price action to go long. Look at these relative equal lows, and then this fair value gap. No wick on this with equal highs. I would like to see this just trade down here and give me some buy set up later. possibly around the 1050 macro. So something like this. Something along the lines of this. Some type of inversion. Maybe even something like this. Order block, internal liquidity. Boom. With an inversion somewhere. Relative equal highs. Potentially even higher. Up here. You got 2 contracts on it. Close one here. Close the next one up here. Or if you just want to send it. Let it just rip, dude. That would be my type of A+ setup if that does form. But if it just sells off, cool. So be whatever. Then we have to. I'd want to see it close down below 50% of this wick. 30 minutes, same thing. Which we might get. This 30 minute looks bearish, and it depends how far down this 30 minute wants to close. You just gotta think we got another 38 minutes in the 1 hour candle, because that could just pull down into this wick and just reject it, and then we can continue higher. But we gotta realize in the 4 hour came up, came down, and I should have this on my chart, but I don't. There's this 4 hour fair value gap there. So going down to the 1 minute now, did we tap that? So we did tap that. We were rejecting it here. That's that black line I just put in there. So I'll get that off. We got so much shit on my damn screen right now. It's annoying. Get the quartiles off here. Try to clean it up a little bit. Get that 30-second off. It's getting a lot of stuff off the screen. Coming down into our discount. So we want to see what happens here in this discount. We hit 25% of this. That 15-minute wick. So we'll see. We come down below a swing low down here. So everybody that was long, that was trailing their stop loss here, now just got hit out. And everybody that's short has their stop loss above here. So we got a lot of liquidity just sitting up above here for buy side. I want to see if we get something here. Is everybody long? The stop loss here, 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 here. Taken out. And bought up. Everybody long here. Stop loss here, here. Taken out. So now everybody short has their stop loss above here. So we'll see. Maybe we actually just come down and take out this low. I don't know. That's also why I'm not taking anything right now. Just following this order flow. Look at all these relative equal highs here now on ES. That's nice. Holy shit! That just came out of nowhere. That was cool. That was a big drop. That was awesome. Let's see if it inverses it though. So we just got the swing low here, so lower low. We're in this discount. We got 5 minutes left if we want to keep going bullish to give this a 15-minute wait. So that would happen very fast if that was to happen. So I got to pay attention to what we're getting here in these lower time frames now. I want to pull over to the big 3 here. So made a low, made a lower low. So we got SMT divergence here. Lower low. So if we get a 30-second close up above this for value gap, I expect it to go higher. Which should also be this 1 minute for value gap as well. Which we just came into this deep discount, rejecting this 50%. So if we get a 30-second closure above this, we got a lot of confirmations for it to keep going long. So I'm just gonna watch this to see what happens with this price action. I obviously don't know for sure if anything's going to happen. I'm just going to monitor this price action here to see if it wants to go long. See, notice how we rejected that right there. You also have 20 seconds on this 1 minute. Really depends because we took out that buy side. I'm already selling. I'd rather wait for the 15-minute closure. You know, this is very, very risky. Notice how we hit that 1 minute and we start rejecting it and folding over the other way. So very low probability for that. So we got 3 minutes left. The 3 minutes about to close like this. I'd like to see it trade down a little so it can give us a wick and possibly even hit that rejection block down here. So that's what I did not want to see happen. I didn't want to see that wick get hit here. So this trade isn't high probability anymore because we took out this short-term high. So if we go to the higher time frame here to really get a picture of what we're getting. Lower low, higher low, SMT. There's SMT in these wicks. So I want to watch this 3 minute now. Notice how that 15-second was inverse, traded down, came back up. We had this 15-second for value gap there. We opened up here. Fucking golden. Nice little move. Let's get that off the screen. Look at all that buy side up there, guys. I want to pay attention to this 3 minute here. Let's see how the 15-minute closes. We got 1 minute 20 here. We got a minute 16. I'll be right back. So here we go. We got 30 seconds left on this 3 minute. So we're already looking for that buy a little bit lower, which it did play out. It went for the 1-to-1. But it closed way up here. That's crazy. So now this order block here. We'll see if that wants to be respected. Oh, it was an order. It's breaker now. I don't really trade breakers. That's even considered a breaker, to be honest. I don't even know. I like looking at inversions and SMT. Let's get off that 30 second. We don't need that no more. So we close up above that 3 minute. We'd want to see something like this hold price. So look at that 2-minute volume imbalance. That's right there. Let's see if it wants to give this a swing low, if this wants to come lower. I do want to see it come a little bit lower. After this long run, I don't like entering something that high. Even though we do have this candle, I'd like to see it trade lower and give us something a little bit different over here. Retesting on that 3-minute, that's solid. But obviously we don't want this 3-minute to break. We want to see if we can get something to accumulate within here if it wants to give us another long. Or if it wants to close back down below this 3-minute and then continue back down actually. Let's see, this new 15-minute just opened, so we got some time here. This does look bearish when we go to this higher time frame. So it's obviously not respecting this area. Like I was saying, the higher time frame could just want to keep coming down. Music stopped. So all the market's telling me is that there's buy side up here, but we took out the buy side, we took out the sell side, and then we came back into this range and we're just bouncing back and forth. I would say this buy side should get hit, but we need to see some more confirmation within these lower time frames, and it's best to wait for that 1050 macro. So if we wait another, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, there might be another setup at some point. But as you can tell, like, this price action is just weird, and we did trade in that discount like I was saying. Now we just got to see, do we just play around in here and give us something like this to go up, or do we end up closing down below this 2-minute inversion, coming back and doing something like this? So that's really the highest probability, is to wait, is to really wait to see what happens here. Like I was saying on the 30-minute, 1, 2, 3 drives lower. Yes, we did take out the high, but we took out the low again, and we're overall bullish on the 4-hour, the daily. Got a daily volume imbalance here. This big gap. So that's that red line down below here. So we have to pay attention. Do we get this 1-minute inverse as well, or what? This isn't terrible price action. I mean, these are selling off, but NAS is holding up. It depends, like, if it wants to do... if these even want to follow it. Like, let's say, does NAS want to follow it or not? It doesn't need to. So we're just going to pay attention here. So, YM just took this low. How's this looking on the higher time frame? Okay, we're still got 9 minutes on this 15-minute candle. So this 9-minute would have to retrace. Not 9-minute, the 15-minute. So 4-hour low is taken. I would have liked to see CES take this low. That doesn't need to happen. Let's watch this 2-minute for value gap here. Notice how we made a higher low on this 2-minute. Made a lower low here on this 2 minute. Paying attention to that. I'm also paying attention to this 1 minute fair value gap here on NQ. We just rejected this volume imbalance on the 1 minute. 4 minutes just came down, wicked it, came back. Let's see what happens in this price. Did we not hit that low yet? Holy shit, we didn't. So we're back up above that 3 minute fair value gap, and we're just ripping off right here. Respecting this 30-second. Got these relative equal highs here. Got these relative equal highs. And those relative equal highs. Like, does this 1 minute just continue up on through, or does it not? That's a real question. I don't like that we just broke up, hit the internal high, and now we're just using this order block to send price down. At the same time, we're just bouncing around in here. So ES looks bearish, but NQ kind of looks bullish after taking out this low and rejecting this discount. So it's kind of a 50-50 chance here. And I don't like 50-50 chances. Trying to get a good read on the market. Like, what are we getting? Lower low. Higher low. Let's see what we get here. Paying attention to this 1 minute fair value gap. And then this swing high. But the question is, do we inverse this 1 minute fair value gap or not? We inverse the 30-second right here. There we go. So now we want to see this keep running. So from this discount, 1-to-1. From here. Let's see if we get up to this high. I would say we get up to those highs there. Let's see. How's this 3 minute looking? 3 minute looking pretty solid. Look at that 3 minute closure. Beautiful. Yes, we wicked a high and we pulled back. That's a beautiful 3 minute closure though. I say we go to this high, to be honest. And probably even higher. Probably back up in the higher part of this range here for today. 5 minute order block created. Beautiful 5 minute order block. We're at the midnight level. Ooh, we just wicked it. We didn't get up above it yet. So I'd like to see a fair value gap here created and then a continuation. It could come back down into this order block, which is possible. And then there could be another setup. But I'd prefer this just to keep going from here. Close up above this 2-minute volume imbalance, but it's still, you can still tell we're still rejecting it. We have another volume imbalance here, but we also have equal lows. So maybe we get these equal lows taken, and then we get a shift with a possible inversion, and then long. And at the same time, this pulls back down into here, and then gives us some type of break of structure with an inversion to go long up to these highs. That's possible. These markets move fast, but not that fast. We got 9 minutes for our macro. We got a swing low here, but we got bullish order flow. So let's see if these down close candles, this order block here, holds price action. So I really want to monitor that. Also 50% of this 5-minute order block to see if that order block wants to take us to equal highs. Because these relative equal lows, internal liquidity swept. So now we got relative equal highs. There's a lot of equal highs up there. So now we got this 3-minute for value gap. How's that hold price? We also have this 3-minute inversion that we are still respecting. Rejection right there. So does that keep rejecting the price? Still hard to really form anything. Like we closed that 3-minute inversion up here, and then we came back down. But it didn't really give us a crazy accumulation to go long in. It closed this 1-minute inversion right here after we wicked the high, and then it just traded here and came right back in. Like I'd expect possibly this 1-minute order block here to hold price and just send it up. But it's being resisted by this midnight open here. So like this is obviously like a high resistance liquidity run. This might be a turtle soup right here on ES taking this low. This might be turtle soup right here. Relative equal low is taken. %, of the opening range right there. Just tapped it. So this could be turtle soup entry. I usually don't trade turtle soup though. Bearish order flow though. We'll see. 5-minute order blocks holding. Lower low. It's the reality of trading. It just gets boring. All right, I'm going to grab another coffee before the macro starts in a few minutes. Probably not turtle soup now. Depends. not trying to guess the direction here. Fucking chop, man. 5 minute goes high, low, sideways. It's so hard. Got a discount, but then it's like wasn't even like anything crazy to even get up into the higher part. So I was looking for the buy here, but the inversion didn't close till like it got up above the swing high. So it's not something I wanted. Like if the inversion closed right here, I'd be in that. I would have taken that. That would have been a win for the day. Right here. 2020. Came right up to it. We're looking for obviously a 2 to 1 a little bit higher right here, but I'd be looking for 40 points. So next take profit wouldn't even be hit. That would have actually been break even if it closed above that inversion on the 30-second. Break even on the second one. First one would have hit to take profit, but we'll see now. Question is, do we hit this swing low and then create something like that? Or do we just keep this higher low, this bullish order flow? This is just a continuation order block right here. Because that could be. It's just so bearish though. Sweet. And pay attention to this order block here. So we got to pay attention. We did come down, rejection block, sifted up above that 3-minute inversion, traded back down in a 3-minute fair value gap, and then we came right back up and through, creating this order block. And now we have this 1-minute volume imbalance I'm paying attention to. So this is volume imbalance, reject price, and we get up above into this higher part. It's looking like that's what's going to happen. If we close up above this 15-second inversion, which we're about to, which we just did, let's see if this 15-second rejects price to keep going higher. $30-second didn't close this one. So I want to watch this 30-second here as well. We got 1 minute for our macro to start. I want to see a closure up above this 2-minute inversion, not inversion, volume imbalance. So we get up above that 2-minute. It's likely to happen. We get potential continuation here. Do we have SMT? Yes, lower low. The 5-minute looks like dog shit for any type of long right now. Wouldn't want to take that. It's another day of washing paint dry. Because we got to think about, like, where are we on the higher time frame? We're obviously all-time highs. Okay. Go over to the Actual NQ market, all-time highs. Since we take out all-time highs, we can just expect like a consolidation or like a continuation. Like on the daily, it doesn't look like we're consolidating. It just takes time to form it within the times we trade. And it's obviously not giving us anything to take long. London had the move. Okay, the buy was in London last night. Break up, version, fair value gap, rejected, order block, boom, gone. Today, nothing. Macro's starting. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. Go bullish. I'd really need to see some more candles. Print something a little bit nicer here. Otherwise, look like we're gonna go bearish. It's 5 minutes about to close like this, so this is a bearish sign. So New York, after all that liquidity was taken, we can expect a consolidation, which is what we got. So one session might have something nice, which could be a sell-off into these lower fair value gaps. So if we get this rejection down below the short-term low, we can look for something in here. There's no 1 minute inversion. It's just chopping its way down, so nothing's high probability. We use this down close candle as an order block. Okay, we got our SMT here. In the higher time frame. More SMT here. This 15-second was inversed. Another 15-second there. So let's see what we get in this price action. Over low. Typical highs up here on YM. That's if we want to follow that bullish order flow. But since we kept the highest high on NQ, I'm more interested in NQ, but there's still nothing. This 1 minute volume imbalance could act as a support to go higher now. But not interested in it. Took up the internal liquidity here. Just a nice low. Internal lows taken. Shift. More internal lows taken. Maybe we get a shift and a continuation. Maybe. Well, like, it could still continue down to take out these lows and go lower. There's no energetic displacement anywhere. Besides here this morning. That was it. And even then, that wasn't that great. Boring day. What a boring day. Wild. Ass price action today. What's up, brother? Yeah, nothing's going on. Just sitting here watching paint dry. Literally nothing's going on. I was looking for this buy after this discount, but nothing really set up. This was a break even, looking for that continuation up to the 9:30 open, but 9:30 open was never even met, as you can tell. 9:30 open right here, we never even hit that. I was just looking for this to close here and then rip on up through, use this order block to then continue, but I never did. I just wanted to consolidate before the news, and then news hit, and then nothing even happened after the news. Just traded back down. And just nothing in here. I'm still bullish because after the short-term low was taken, right there, but still, like, it's just chopping. There's nothing going on. And usually, like, if it is chopping in the morning, usually like 10:50 to 11:10 gives like a displacement somewhere, but we're not even getting that. Yeah, PM's probably gonna be better. Which I would have liked like a nice movement. Yeah, I think it's chopping because we had all of yesterday's PM was chopping, and then London took out the swing low, and then coming into like early pre-New York session, we hit the high, and then right after we hit the high, we hit the low. Like right at the open. So like the high and the low were taken of like this range. And that just like creates the chop. So that's like all I'm really seeing. Which makes sense because like we gotta realize it's not high probability conditions right now. That's all good. Yeah. Okay, it's finally starting to move. Let's see what we got. It's got all these equal highs up here. That's why I like the buy a little bit better. ES took out these lows, these internal lows. So now, I'm thinking this buy is going to happen to these equal highs. But it's not giving me like any like inversion gaps I like to see for me to get in. And I'm not trying to take anything on like a 30-second right now. This is way too chop. There she goes. Yeah, this trade's probably going to set up soon. Towards these highs at some point. I'm not going to be in it. I got to get going soon anyway. I got an appointment with a tax person at 12. And I got to meet a client before then too. So I got to get going. This high's going to be taken. Internal high taken right there. Yeah, the only way I would have taken this is if we traded down. Like, we saw, like, the whole profile I like to see. Like, high made, internal low taken. But if we had faster displacement with, like, gaps and stuff, and then maybe some order blocks in this leg here, I would have looked for a buy. But just like the macro started 1050 to 1110, like it just started spooling at 1102, but there was no like gaps for me to want to enter on. Besides like this 30-second, but I don't like trading the 30-second like that. So I'm not trying this shit. I'd watch this 30-second order block here. Let's see if it wants to rip off this order block. But it wouldn't surprise me if, since we just took this high, if it just rejects this order block and still trades down and chops around. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. And we hit the midnight. Alright, I gotta get going, so I'm not late to my appointment. But peace out, brother. Ending the stream here.